guys, it is your boy Apexzilla, and today we are playing, no, we're not playing. Today it's a Goji reaction to Goji Center. What if the Utahraptor was in Jurassic World? Now, we're going to react to this video. It's only 10 minutes, so let's get started.
The word raptor over the span of cinema history has been synonymous with fear.
Y'all know that a new Jurassic World movie coming out, but if you guys have watched all the Jurassic Worlds, wow. Just wow. And
Death and carnage. But amongst the many types of raptors seen in the Jurassic franchise, absolutely none of these compares to the monstrous killing machine we will introduce today, whose big screen appearance might overshadow the rest of these animals and put them all to shame. Today on Goji Center, the geneticists of the Jurassic World universe will foolishly play God again, and we'll find out what would happen if this predator is let loose, what it would look like, and if it would fit in the roster of the already dangerous predators. Coming up, Utahraptor, Jurassic Park Edition. This episode is divided into 4 parts. First, discussing what this fella would look like if it was in a Jurassic film. After that, we will figure out how it would compare in size against the other animals in this franchise, followed by how it would hunt. And a special surprise section in the end. You won't want to miss this one. First things first, let's clear up a misconception a lot of people have had since 1993. Because the real Velociraptor was much smaller than the movie model.
yeah, in real life, yeah, I think Velociraptors did have peppers, but they wanted to make it a little bit more bigger, so...
Monsters running around with that name slapped on them, a lot of commentators mistakenly thought that these things, and in the novel, were indeed
I think that the Velociraptors were bigger than the human. I think, yeah.
Utahraptors. So we've assembled a bit of a visual aid to show the difference. This one is the big one from Jurassic Park, and this is next
I think I was right about that.
to a big Utahraptor. Still think this little fella is a Utahraptor? The story of how the Jurassic Velociraptors wound up this large is a long one, but long story short, Utahraptor simply wasn't known at the time Michael Crichton wrote the novel or when Spielberg was in production. Scientists knew some monster raptor was out there, but the genus wasn't officially unveiled and named until the movie was effectively done. Instead, both the novel and film raptors were modeled after Deinonychus, which was the largest raptor known at the time. But even using the maximum size for Deinonychus, InGen slashers are dwarfed by their bigger cousins. And since the 90s, not only has newer details shown that the Utahraptor was unlike any other, but that it was even bigger than initially thought. Using what is known about the real-life creature and giving it the Jurassic treatment this series usually gives other animals, like the Giganotosaurus, Allosaurus, Tarbosaurus, animals who differ greatly from their real-life counterparts. Here's our prediction of how Utahraptor might look like if it ever appears in Jurassic. Note that this animal still has the scaly, reptilian look of the other raptors in this series, but since Jurassic is now more or less inclined to adopting feathery attributes to their new dino additions, a feathered Utahraptor is now not too far-fetched for a Jurassic Park rendition of this animal.
That one actually looks way more cooler. No,
Cookie Run Tower of Adventures is officially available on both.
I don't care.
Theropods in the Jurassic franchise tend to have longer legs and a somewhat more raised stance than their real-life counterparts. And to really sell that these are a brand new type of raptor, all of the traits that made Utahraptor unique will have to be exaggerated. Blade-like hooked claws on...
Oh wait, I meant to pause. I feel like this thing might kill the Indoraptor if Owen actually tamed it. I feel like that they should actually... We're going to react to more Goji Center and later ones, because I know they just released the Indominus versus Skull Island, or will she survive? But I feel like the Utahraptor is just gonna... I feel like it's just gonna destroy it.
Size and better at slashing than the real-life Utahraptor. Thick, heavy serrated fangs with a distinctive curve in the jaw for a toothier maw. All on a stocky, powerful frame.
Wow.
This beast could crush a man's skull between its jaws, impale right through the chest of a dilo with its foot claws, or shred a bigger dinosaur's throat with its hands and jaws. And just how big would these beasts get? In a word, huge. Up next, size. The Jurassic series already tends to use the biggest possible sizes for a lot of its dinosaurs. with some exceptions. During production of the first film, some of the ILM artists were worried that they were using a seemingly fictional monster of a huge Deinonychus, until paleo consultant Dr. Backer assured them that something big was coming, and at the time did not even realize how big that something was going to be. So, if we modify this Utahraptor to our Jurassic series parameters, an adult Utahraptor could stand over 8 feet tall and be upwards of 20 feet in length. And this isn't just a scaled-up velociraptor with a new coat of paint. Utahraptor was far more robust than any other raptor known, on top of already being the largest and weighing nearly double the initial estimates. The largest Utahraptor known already had a femur over half a meter long. This was very likely not the maximum for its species. Using volumetric analysis to get an estimate of our movie monster, the Jurassic Utahraptor would wind up breaking the scales at over half a ton, or much higher. This means that this gut ripper of death could weigh between 3 to 5 times more than the big one or Blue. And if you thought that these little guys still have an edge over the Utahraptor in terms of intelligence, guess again. Nature already answered that question over 100 million years ago. How, you may ask? Pack hunting. Now, the act of pack hunting was actually a prime reason why raptors became widely known in pop culture. But new evidence and research suggests social hunting was far rarer in raptors than once thought. The truth is, a majority of raptor species, or dromaeosaurs, were mesopredators, more or less, mid-tier predators. Examples of animals functioning very much like Velociraptor today would include bobcats and coyotes, carnivores that excel at hunting small animals up to double their weight. Some occasionally hunt in packs, but they aren't built to kill large game. They lack the equipment to do damage to a large animal, and are so small that they risk catastrophic injury from a retaliation from a much heavier animal. Simply put, a gang of foxes attacking a buffalo would be suicidal, so a group of similar raptors wouldn't either. Believe it or not, this pack hunting behavior would be more common amongst the larger apex predators, as it is proven by modern evidence and the fossil record. Think about wolves, spotted hyenas, lions, and the orca. All of them are some of the biggest predators in their respective ecosystems, big enough to do damage to the giant herbivores that outsize them individually. Those bones with raptor tooth marks may have been more likely evidence of scavenging events, much like how many times small carnivores might take advantage of a kill after the apex predator is done eating. Utahraptor was a completely different beast, not only being one of, if not the biggest carnivore in its time and region, but also hunting ankylosaurs, iguanodonts, and young sauropods. The initial discoverers of Utahraptor also thought pack hunting made sense. So, in Jurassic, well, we might end up having a slasher movie featuring the feathered horror as the main villain. Much better trained, lethal, cunning creatures than their smaller counterparts, raised by their parents and being more instinctively cooperative with each other, not squabbling or fighting one another in pointless dominance disputes. Stalking and ripping humans apart with their strong limbs, high agility, and potential climbing ability to attack from above. Climbing trees or going inside buildings will no longer mean you're safe. After it's blatantly clear that humans would be absolutely demolished by this new addition to the franchise, how does the Utahraptor rank among the other raptors in this series? Raptor meets Raptor. So, what would happen if our Utahraptors bumped into the Veloci, Atroci, or Pyroraptors? Would they try to team up? Would they duel? Well, nature can provide a pretty grisly answer. In the present day, apex predators are often the #1 cause of death for some types of small carnivores. This is because those at the top of the food chain don't start out that way. The smaller predators might go out of their way to try and kill the offspring of apex predators to take them out before they grow to full size. So, the apex predators often have 2 responses to detecting the carnivores the next size tier down: search and destroy.
That was a big... Y'all, that was probably a baby lion. I hope it's not.
That's right. In the Utahraptor's home range of the Cedar Mountain Formation were also other species of raptors, not that much smaller than the ones seen in the Jurassic series. On just pure instinct, Utahraptor would instantly register the smaller raptors as a threat and competitor, attacking them on sight and eliminating problems later on. With a massive weight advantage, stronger jaws that could smash right through their bodies, the smaller raptors wouldn't stand a chance against the genius bruisers. The likes of Velociraptor, Utahraptor, and Pyroraptor would have no choice but to run for their lives. Those stupid enough to fight back end up stabbed, rended, and crushed. Make no mistake, if nature shows us anything, it's that those who'd fight back against stronger odds only find themselves on another creature's menu. But how would nature's ultimate raptor fare against mankind's own ultimate raptor?
They all like had to do that.
The Indoraptor. For a quick recap, let us remind you that the Indoraptor is not that much bigger than one fully grown Utahraptor. Going off most of the official stats, the Indoraptor is somewhat heavier and more durable, but that might just buy it time instead of assuring victory. Performance-wise, Hybrid admittedly had some major kinks to work out. Its maniac nature and awkward posture did not impede it much in the task it was meant to do, kill humans. And it likely would have performed well against even larger berserk predators like we've previously analyzed on this channel. But consider that the Hybrid struggled handily against a mad Velociraptor, a fraction of its weight, who had just gone through surgery and a blood transfusion. This time, the Indoraptor will not only face one, but at least a few of these Utahraptors. Its tough hide does protect it from gunfire, but if it works anything like Kevlar, cutting, stabbing, and crushing injuries from an especially large Utahraptor may prove troublesome. It would be a ferocious fight, and a Utahraptor may be fatally injured. But against the well-coordinated attacks from many well-armed super raptors, the chances of this Indoraptor surviving are very, very low. A solid pack of at least 4 to 5 Utahraptors may prove a sufficient menace to establish themselves as the most dangerous force in the entire series. Even the thick hides of the T-Rex and Spinosaurus would be cut into and rendered, especially since the hide of Rexy was left with decades-old scars from just one gutsy raptor less than a third of the weight of one of these Utahraptors. Now that we know the true power of these beasts, it's only a matter of time until the Jurassic series shows us what the greatest of the raptors could do.
Alright guys, that was it from Goji Center and also the video. But I do have a question. What would happen if the Indoraptor fought the little Utahraptors? But that is today's video. And, you know, y'all already know, we finna just end the video right here. So, Apexzilla is going to be